Hello. Today is all about why I started a business. And everyone that shares this story loves to talk about their lemonade stand, them selling all of their parents' stuff. And I've never had a lemonade stand. I've never been particularly savvy kid. I made do with my pocket money, and that was kind of it. And if you're wondering today why I'm in a different surroundings and I might be looking downwards a little bit, I'm not in my regular office. I am in my co-working space. Hey, Victoria's here. Hello. Oh! And this is what happened when you try to wave when you're not in your usual office setup. I'm co-working in Rotterdam with my friend, so I literally borrowed a meeting room and my phone's like propped up against a bin. I tried to steal their decorations, but the setup did not work. So that is why. Hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here on Friday. Is everyone having the Friday feels? Um, and the thing is, like, I wasn't particularly entrepreneurial, right, as a kid. And I know that lots of us come from families full of business owners. And that is partially true for me in the sense that lots of my family members had businesses in the past, but they were all of the blue collar, work very hard, not necessarily for a lot of rewards variation. And actually, my extended family includes a lot of greenhouse workers, greenhouse owners. So they had plants, paprikas, cucumbers, that kind of stuff. Um, and that is a really rough business. Like the margins in that are super slim, and it's really hard work, right? The cost structure in that type of business is very different than it is in an online business. So that is the family story. So I saw entrepreneurship, but basically it looked like a lot of hard work for very little pay. So it never occurred to me that that would be a good way to go. Until I was in university. And if you don't know, I have a Bachelor of Arts, a couple of minors, and then a Master of Science. I've done a research master's. So that was a 2-year degree, including research abroad and stuff. So if you see me argue on the internet, that's because I'm trained to argue, basically. And it wasn't until I was in that and seeing all of these regular 9 to 5 jobs, right? And I was like, I want to climb the corporate ladder. I'm going to make lots of money and be driven around and have a corporate Amex and all of that stuff. And it just didn't make sense to me because when you work for a corporate organization, you have to come into an office. If you do a good job, your boss gets a lot of the credit. Same if you have really good ideas. And if you know me, I have lots of ideas. Not all of them are good, but I have lots of ideas. And if you do really well and you get a promotion, you get 10% more salary with 50% more responsibility. Or I heard stories from people where their coworker left and they just got that job on top of their own. And that just didn't seem fair to me. Like the logic in that was just completely not for me. And what I really, really wanted, my big love has always been travel. I see that we have people on Facebook, but no comments. If there's any questions, let me know and I will happily respond. But I just wanted to travel. And most jobs, especially at the kind of level that I was at, right, being so high educated, don't let you travel. I was like, well, shit. So I finished my master's. I actually took 3 years. I traveled and I did a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, I'm going to be a travel blogger. And then I found out that a lot of travel bloggers make no money doing travel blogging. So that was my first foray into entrepreneurship. But I also started learning about virtual assistants and stuff a little bit, right? While I was finally finishing up my master thesis, I was looking into what's next. How am I going to pay the bills after this when this whole college experience ends? And I initially started looking for jobs and I applied for some really cool positions. I had a couple of really harrowing experiences with the traineeships and the applications and the jobs that they give to someone and they write you a letter based on your resume like, you're not the right person for this. And I'm like, I have the exact perfect only degree that exists. Why did you turn me and all of the people I went to college with down for this job? You do not need a sociologist for that. You need someone like us, right? Um, so that was just, I just had two really shitty experiences and then I was just done. And if you've ever met me at some point, I'm just done. And that my clients have had too. I'm like, nope, that's bullshit. Done. Moving on, right? I was just done. So I went to the Chamber of Commerce and I was like, I'm gonna start a business. And I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I guess I'm gonna design websites for people. So you can call me Web Design Studio Sandra, and I'll call it done. And to this day, in my Dutch company, that name is still on some of my business paperwork. I've been in business for over 6 years, so I have like DBAs set up, but that is still Web Design Studio Sandra. It's like on my business bank cards and on all of that stuff. And that is really how I got started. And you know what? I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing it this way because it is the slow route, right? When you have no experience, no clue what you're doing, no expertise, no skills, I had to learn everything. But, right, because what I saw, what happened in the first 3.5 years, all of my college friends were like, shouldn't you just get a job? Right? Are you sure? Maybe it's time to find a job. And I think it took 4.5 years for the first person that I had known me for longer to turn around and go like, Sandra, how did you do that? And that to me was fascinating. By the way, most of my college friends and we don't hang out anymore. Now that I'm back in the Netherlands, I see a friend from high school who's also, funnily enough, turned out to be self-employed. But that is the thing, right? So that's how I got started. I never had a lemonade stand. I had shitty experiences looking for a regular job, and I was like, you know what, this shit is not for me. I'm not doing that. And I just started a business, and 6 years later, here we are. All right, have a really wonderful weekend. This was fabulous. I am gonna really